Hey everybody, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm from 107.5 WBLS and you are watching Open. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming up on today's show, we'll speak to a national security and public policy expert about a very important upcoming press conference that will shine a light on a silent battle that most veterans fight through. Then we'll hear from an Emmy award-winning TV programmer and executive producer who will shine a light on an upcoming film festival you don't want to miss. Then after that, we'll check in with a friend of the show, CEO and founder of MASC Hospitality Group, and he's doing some wonderful things with the New York City Night Market this summer with local vendors and events. And then finally, we'll sit down with an author, podcaster, and the founder of an organization that is empowering nonprofit organizations and businesses throughout the nation. So all you have to do is sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet, and we'll have some fun. We're open. And welcome back, welcome back. Hey everybody, I'm your host, the Dr. Bob Lee. You're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx to New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, June 27th is National PTSD Day. In response to that, Veteran Action Now will host a press conference to highlight the impact that PTSD, that everybody's talking about it, has on the effects that it has on families and veterans. So joining us to highlight the importance of the press conference and much more are Veteran Action Now members, Kevin C. Meggett and Steve Colon.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Dr. Bob Lee?
Thanks for having us.
Man, it's nice to see you guys, and thanks for coming in and sharing this space and time.
Back.
So, Kevin,
Yes.
thank you for coming in today. Of course, with Steve. The last time you were here, you spoke about your political action summit that took place.
Yes.
Tell us how that went.
Well, I mean, it went exactly how I thought it was going to. I sat out in front of the one day after the inauguration.
Yeah.
I held a press conference in Manhattan, VA, at that time asking then President Trump not to repeal the PACT Act, not to privatize our services, and most importantly, not to cut us. And everything that I stood on and asked, he's here we are. He's doing the opposite. There are 83,000 jobs that are VA jobs that are being threatened right now, a third of which is occupied by veterans themselves.
So, in order to step up and want to ask him something like that, you knew something was coming.
I knew it was coming. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the PACT Act.
Well, the PACT Act is something that Congress and then former President Joe Biden worked very feverishly to, where it was easier for veterans to make claims because of burn pits and different chemical agents and things like that, so forth. I felt it didn't go far enough because a lot of these barracks throughout the nation have mold and are made with asbestos. So it doesn't. I don't think it went far enough, but it was a good start.
Yeah.
Where you said burn pits are toxic to soldiers and various chemical agents are toxic to soldiers, and we need to do something for it. And it was supposed to be an expressway of taking your claim and pushing it through.
Yeah. Stephen Colon's in the house.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, brother. Thank you for having me.
And now, how did you get involved in what we're doing here today?
Well, I worked with Kevin Meggett.
Yeah.
Actually, I went somewhere and they asked if there was veterans. I raised my hand. The CEO told me go see one of my counselors. I spoke to the brother. This is 9.5 years ago almost.
Yeah.
He got me hired for the agency 2 weeks later.
They got you high. What?
Hired.
Oh.
No, not hired. No, he got me employed. But,
I said, wait a minute. All right, that's an initiation
Yeah.
thing, right?
and I worked as an employment specialist with him.
Yeah.
What we did, our primary job was
Yeah.
help veterans who are unemployed, which is a travesty. You know, I
Yeah.
serve my country, you're unemployed. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
like that. And we would get them jobs. We would help those who needed treatment before they get jobs, help them get into treatment. Because obviously, if you got a drug addiction or alcohol problem, and I get you a job,
Yeah.
all I'm doing is feeding your addiction.
Right,
Because
right.
now you got more money to get more drunk and more high.
Yeah.
So we would get them treatment first and get rid of that barrier, and now they get the job, they can become productive members of society.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, reintegrate back in.
And that's what my brother does.
And I've been doing it, and then through that, as we got closer and closer, and then you know I seen the things he was doing, I was like, wow, I got to step up and do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So now you guys are working on something that's coming up.
We're working on.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So June is Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
June 27th is PTSD Day. And I thought it would be only fitting if we shed light to what veterans go through, because PTSD is a silent killer.
Yeah. Right.
And I had an Army buddy that suffered from PTSD, extreme PTSD, and he had suicidal tendencies. And about 4 years ago, he actually succeeded. The reason we are holding this press conference on the north part of the George Washington Bridge is because that's where he jumped from, and he committed suicide. And so we want to bring attention to this matter. I brought Steve with me because Steve also suffers from extreme, or so he's being treated now, but he's suffered from untreated PTSD for over 40 years. And the VA, we can't afford not one cut to the VA.
People don't know a lot of the things that veterans have gone through.
Sure.
You know.
You can't unring a bell. I mean, his story, he could tell it probably better than me. Would you like to tell your story?
Yes, I mean, even my family didn't know. I was in Beirut, Lebanon in 1983, and I was there when they blew up the building. 240 men, you know, lost their lives that day, right? Mainly Marines, because we were the only unit there.
Yeah.
Because as you know, before they could send troops to a war zone,
Yeah.
Congress has to approve it.
Right.
But the Marines, the president could send wherever he wants, up to 6 months at a time. So what they were doing, every 5.5 months, they were rotators. So we wasn't there 6 months, right? And they blew up the building. We was there as a peacekeeping mission. Vietnam started as a peacekeeping mission.
did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they blew up the building, people got outraged, said it's going to be another Vietnam, get them out of there. They put pressure on Reagan. So, with being they put pressure on Reagan, they want to sweep it under the rug. So when I came home, I didn't get to see any psychiatrists or psychologists, but I knew something was wrong with me. I was different. I
From what you've seen, right?
Right. I would get angry very quick. I never drank before, you know. I would drink like, when I would come home for holidays, I might have one drink just to, my family.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
drank in bars or anything. I started drinking because I couldn't, when I would try to sleep, I would get these visions and, these flashbacks.
Yeah.
I started drinking heavily. Then it got to a point where I started using drugs. I got addicted to drugs, freebasing, if you will.
Yeah.
And, because of that, me and the mother of my daughters, we ended up splitting up because I put her through a lot.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to prison. When I asked for help at the VA, I had an other than honorable discharge because of the things I did my last 5 months in the Marines. So the VA wouldn't give me any type of assistance. And I ended up going to prison. And for 20-something years, I suffered bad through that. But in 2008, I went to a program they had in New York State prison system. It was called the Veterans Residential Therapeutic Program. The first time I really spoke to people that understood what I was going through, because they was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it was all veterans together. And the majority of them were Vietnam veterans, Korean veterans. So they understood. And I got to see a psychiatrist for the first time, and she diagnosed me and told me I was suffering PTSD. I'm like, PTSD? Isn't that like them crazy people to be doing all that on the trains and jumping and that I used to laugh at? Now I'm the person they're laughing at. So I got a little therapy. I came home, and I was encouraged to, I came home, and then a few years after I came home, I did 18 years at a 12-and-a-half-year bid, because it's known that military personnel do more time for the same crime than a non-military person.
Why is that?
These are things that Veteran Action Now plan on exploring. See, we're independent advocate. Veterans don't have advocacy. You have state agencies, you have 501c3 non-for-profits that serve the problem, but we're the only ones that speak out and serve the problem. So that's something we want to find out. Why is it more time? How come I don't believe that there is any, right now there is a Bronx veteran court. So those are things there's a lot of work to be done. And this is why I'm saying we can't afford not one cut to VA. This man, it took him 40 years to become honorably discharged. Yeah. It took him to go to prison to have to get treatment. That's unacceptable for what he went through. You can't unring a bell. What he saw, he had to pull those bodies out. He can't unsee what he saw. Yeah. So how do we, in good faith, when you go to the regional VA, there's a big sign that quotes Lincoln's promise. We will care for veterans, their families, and their caregivers. That's their mission statement. Yeah. But now here we are trying to pull back veteran services 7 years ago when there were less veterans home, and prior to what's going on in Israel and Iran, the administration was talking about bringing home from Europe another 90,000 veterans. That would collapse our regular healthcare system. Needless to say, it's going to collapse the veteran healthcare system. Yeah. So you're almost setting it. The recipe is to set it up for failure. Say, okay, it doesn't work. Now we need to privatize. The problem with that is I didn't take an oath, and he didn't take an oath with Tesla and Starbucks and McDonald's and Walmart. I took it with the federal government, and I expect the federal government to honor my commitment, because I didn't go in a room and become unoathed when I got out. So technically, him and I are still both under the oath of the Constitution of the United States.
And that's why, you went and presented what you presented with the PACT Act.
Yes.
Now, Steve, in doing all that you do, does that help you with the PTSD?
It's...
Because you're helping others now. It just brings it all out.
Well...
Is it therapeutic?
It's very therapeutic for me. And one thing, when I came on your show last time, and I spoke, and some of my family members actually saw that segment. Yeah. And then they did an interview with me on Black Veterans Social Justice on their website. They did like a half-hour interview. They cut it down, And I told my family to watch it. They was like, we never know you went through that.
See?
And this is 40 years later. My daughters and my family, they just thought like, yo, we thought you just came home and started messing up and started drinking and getting high. Yeah. They didn't realize what I was going through.
Situations
now
going on.
They're seeing me in a totally different light. Yeah. And the more, because I couldn't talk about it, but now I'm realizing the more I talk about it, the more I share my story, I'm not only helping other people going through the same thing, but it's very therapeutic for me. Yeah. So I dedicated my life now to veteran advocacy. I want to help out other people. It took me 40 years, man. 2 days shy of 40 years for them to give me a paper that said you're honorably discharged. And I remember I used to see things on TV. Oh, they gave this guy post-mortem. He been there 15 years, and now they giving him a medal of honor, big deal, right? But when they gave me that discharge 40 years later, I'm like, wow, now I know what their family felt.
Yeah.
Now I'm recognized. And one of the reasons that they gave for upgrading me, said, had they knew in 1984 what I was going through,
Yeah.
I would have never got that discharge.
Wow.
I would have got treatment instead.
And that's what we're pushing for.
So PTSD Day, I got 30 seconds. What's going to happen that day?
Well, we're going to stand there. We're going to, I'm no longer asking, we're demanding that you do not cut us. And, you know, there are people like Steve all over, you know, and I want to work with these organizations that are sincere about doing the work and not just lip service and glory hounding. We need to weave those organizations out and work with the reputable ones towards a resolution towards PTSD and suicide.
And we're going to see if we can get our producer, Steve Powell, and Mike Nobby and them to see if they can cover this, because this is important.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That.
So
We have a lot of assembly
Steve,
people coming out
Steve
too.
he can initiate that. So website, put the flyer back up one more time. Let's take a look at that flyer. Is that
There it is.
all
yeah.
the information is right
All
there?
the information's right there. Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I appreciate you always being open, no pun intended, for letting me come on this platform to discuss veteran issues, because we're the forgotten heroes. You know, we didn't ask to be heroes. But we do ask that the country do right by us. It's only fair. So thank you.
Open for you, man.
That's right. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so
Kevin
much.
Meggett, thank you so much.
Dr. Bob Lee, thank you very much,
Steve,
brother.
thank
We
you so much.
appreciate you.
Thank you for your service, all right? And God
Yes,
bless
sir.
you
Thank you.
guys.
I appreciate you.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is
God
good.
is good.
That's what's up. We'll
That's
take a
right.
quick break right here. We'll come back with more. I'm the Doc Bob Lee. Oh, we're open. And welcome back. Our next guest is a film programmer and an Emmy Award-winning executive producer of acclaimed TV show Nueva York, 107.5 WBLS. And she joins us to spotlight the 12th Annual America's Film Festival of New York and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Diana Vargas. Diana, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Good, good,
It
good.
was a very interesting conversation that I.
Yeah, I mean, it's so very, very important, and sometimes they're unforgotten,
Amazing.
but, you know, we're able to do a lot of the things that we do because of their service. You know, they put their lives
Exactly.
on the line. You know,
Exactly.
they're first responders. So tell us what you're doing, and tell us a little bit more about the film festival and the whole nine.
Yes, the American Film Festival was created to bring films that were not only artistically compelling, but also emotionally resonant and socially relevant.
Uh-huh.
And this year, this is the 12th year, and this year we were focused on stories that challenge that dominant narratives and trying to bring forward underrepresented voices from the Americas.
Yeah, and
Those themes.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, the themes were like, you know, that emerged, and that's amazing. It's like it strongly include memory and historical truth and the mental health, like they were talking about, and I think it's a topic right now that everybody's looking for, you know, to
Yeah.
connect and to know that they are not alone. And also migration, intergenerational family dynamics, and the power of art as resistance.
And what were the main criteria you used to curate this year's film selection?
Uh, for me, like independent cinema is always this space that create a safe net to bring the unseen and the unheard, the people that are invisible usually in the mainstream, formula. So we, and without compromise, they can say, they can talk, they can be here, and they can be heard, and not feel like there is something behind saying no, you can't say those things. And
Yeah.
so we want complexity, nuance, and cultural authenticity. That's the importance on films that are independent, and really trying to create that dialogue between communities and the societies, and also New Yorkers, because I think New York also is a place that was built by immigrants, and is full of stories of those immigrants in every corner. And the Americas are here in this small island. All the Americas you can see in every corner of the city.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you've been working with Taffney. How has it evolved over the past 12 years, and what do you think sets this edition apart from the rest?
I think we start with like two things that are for us very important at this moment. What the films, yes, the stories, and give that voice, but also to protect the institutions, the cultural institutions. We were created by this festival was created by the Division of Interdisciplinary Studies at CUNY, a City College. CUNY is a public university.
Yeah.
It's a diverse institution, and we believe in the power of storytelling, and also that providing that space for those visions to be shared. We are not just entertaining, but creating dialogue, amplifying voices, and also, as I said, the institutions that work with us, like the Instituto Cervantes, the National Museum of the American Indian, the consulates, the Colombian consulate, the Manhattan Network, Neighborhood Network, the Bildner Center. All of them are institutions that we also need to protect, and by going to them, by full the, or to have all the seats full, we are protecting those institutions more than ever, because what is happening right now is what you see is that they are trying to carry back things like the access to these stories, to these narratives that are very different from the mainstream that we are seeing now,
Yeah.
and the migrant
And,
communities.
and you've been doing this for some time now. Can you share your own background and career path, and how has it influenced your curatorial vision for Taffney?
Yes, thank you. I come from Cali, Colombia, and that city breeds cinema. We are very passionate about uh, creating stories for films and for
Uh,
TV. And I started making documentaries at a very young age, going out to the streets, looking for listening to people. And but then when I came to New York, it struck me that there were a disconnection between those powerful stories that we were creating in those countries, and especially in my country. But I knew about the old Latin American movement, and here that what people thought about Latinos, or in those days they call it Hispanics,
Hispanics.
and that you will see that the realization pushed me to that lack of representation on the screens, pushed me to create these film festivals,
Yeah.
and to try to amplify those voices, our voices are
Yeah.
actually.
And why do you believe it's important to spotlight a lot of the things that you're doing right about now?
Because I think we need to create. We need to kind of create the narrative away from news that right now show us as people. There is this idea there are bad and good migrants, which is totally dangerous and totally unfair for people that have built, as I said, have built this country in many ways. And so for me to create to bring these stories is to make people to see the richness of being multicultural, to have different languages that you are exposed
Yeah.
to have the stories that are, like you should be talking about, not discussing or not disputing about what is right or no on gender or race, or what is right to be, white, black. There is no a right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a way to be. And I think the movies create that dialogue in a more dynamic and clear way
Yeah.
for all of us.
And how does Taffney ensure representation from diverse regions of the Americas, including indigenous communities and voices from North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean?
For us, it's just like, if you see the films that we show, they are films that always represent the let's say the challenges that the societies are living in at that moment. At this moment, as I said before, you can see that they are looking for um, that place to talk about mental health, migration, and to talk about justice
Yeah.
and historical truth. And that's what it is important for us to have this. And this is a free event, I must say. No, so that's what is also important for younger generations of
Yeah.
Latinos or migrants in general, because this is not only Latino. We have, as you said, voices from North America, the indigenous voices and the native voices here, the Afro
Yeah.
um, culture. So it's about, we are navigating these hybrid identities that sometimes we could be confused by some narratives,
Yeah.
but then these films bring something that is more meaningful, and it's not about judging, it's about sharing. That's what it is important to
Absolutely.
affirm.
And I have about a minute or so left. Is there a particular film or filmmaker in this year's festival that you feel personally connected to? That's something that's
Well,
touched your heart?
yeah. Well, as a mother of films, I always say that all of them are really good and are great. But there are two stories that really connected to personally. One is called Stories or Historias, that is by
Uh-huh.
Paco Sepulveda, and these are, he created like tells very small short stories, but all of them are connected to started with the born of someone at the death of someone else, and they all connected together to create this kind of very interesting and very delicate, poetic, and magical story of what happened in the life of someone, like all the challenges that we face
Yeah.
daily. And the other one is the closing night film that is about, how the mask of the Native Americans were took away from some artists in the 40s and 50s,
Uh-huh.
and they were not recognized, and they were kind of like they were this cultural appropriation. And only now that this filmmaker comes and make the link between those two, that you can see how those stories have shaped us. And famous painters, famous artists created based on that, but never gave recognition to those.
Diana, where can people go to find out more about all the wonderful things that you're doing?
Yes, it's very easy. It's Tafney.com, www.tafney.com.
And people should
And
go and
thank
check.
you.
People say it in Spanish. People should go and check you out because.
Porque the festival, you are saying, or the festival, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go.
I'm a little nervous and I don't know why. Porque somos un festival que representa las Américas, representa las historias de todos los que vinimos a esta ciudad a aportar y a hacerla mejor.
Perfecto.
Gracias.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank
There
you.
she is, Diana Vargas, film programmer and CUNY TV senior producer. We thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much for
Good luck
having
with
me.
everything. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. And welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Our next guest is the CEO and founder of MASC Hospitality Group and the New York City Night Markets series. He joins us to shine a light on upcoming summer events you won't want to miss. So please welcome to the show, Marco Shalma. Marco, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, good. We finally went to one. I didn't go, but Stephen went to one in Manhattan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you should have called me and let me know this coming. I would have put the red carpet and all the food aligned and everything. But we good, we good.
Yeah, he said he was with his girl. He was looking for you, but he didn't see you. He said you're probably busy somewhere.
Yeah, I'm always busy in this event. Those are like the highlight of my week. Walking around with thousands of people, enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a good day. And we finally been having some great, beautiful weather days.
Uh-huh.
Not today or anything, but in the last few events, we've had some great days, and the community came out. Um, our next event is June 28th in the Bronx, Fordham Plaza. Again, this is exciting. It looks like it's gonna be great. We have a lot of music, about 50 different vendors. It's gonna be fun.
But that's not just for one. It starts on the 28th, and it goes throughout the whole summer, or is it
No,
just a one-day
it's
event?
It started in April. Unfortunately, the first event in April, which is always the last Saturday of the month.
Okay.
But the first April event was like where we had like a big rain and winds, gust of wind, 36 miles per hour. So we had
Wow.
to cancel that. We will be at Fordham Plaza to the rest of the year on the last Saturday of the month between 12 and 7 p.m. And then in Harlem on the second Thursday of the month between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m.
What part of Harlem?
We are in West Harlem, right underneath the bridge, right underneath the highway over there, like 12th Avenue. Arguably, and in my opinion, the best party in New York City. Think about our events like a elaborated block party that
Yeah.
is like well branded and well organized and orchestrated, and you have a bunch of everything. There's like background music, there's activation, there's like tons of food vendors, ton of merchandise vendors, a lot of local New Yorker businesses. A lot of them also in their first year starting off.
Yeah.
We have music, at least one stage. Oh yeah, we got the graphic over there. So we recently announced that the Uptown Night Market is coming to a close this year. And I'm gonna give you over here, never been heard before. the Fordham Plaza Bronx Night Market is also in its current rendition. This is going to be the final season
Oh
uh,
no.
for us. I mean,
So
it
what
is.
happens after that?
I mean, everybody's going to have to wait a few more months to kind of hear the news. You all know that that we worked on something really big, and to do a move like that, there's a big plan in motion. So,
So
um,
so it doesn't just shut down. It's going to elevate into another. It's going to hit
it,
another level. You're going to make the
exactly.
grade.
Exactly. Like the rule is, the rule that I live by is like if you don't evolve, you dissolve. And this is like us evolving into something bigger, more permanent, more exciting for the community, still focusing on the small businesses, the local small businesses, giving them a place to shine and to start their businesses and career, but with the ability to work into something more permanent nature and a grander scale. So
Yeah.
we've been working on this for the last couple of years. We've hit the pinnacle when it comes to like night markets in New York City. We actually hell, we set the tone of what it is to do a night market and a food festival in New York City, and now it's time for
Yeah.
us to go to the next adventure.
Man, I remember when you first started, you were just talking about French fries and chicken.
When I first started, it was 8 years ago, and I remember being
I
in the
know.
studio, nervous as hell, sweating through my jacket, and we come a long way, and it's been great, and you guys
Yeah.
have been a great supporter. I appreciate you.
Oh man, thank you. Now you're in a number of different places, right? You got
We are in different places. We also have a national brand that we launched. It's called the Latin Food Fest. It happens once a year in New York, but starting 2026, it goes through Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, Los Angeles, Chicago, and back to
my
New York in
God. All
September.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
came out
yeah.
of the 5 barrels, and now you're moving across the country.
We've learned so much. We've engaged with the community, and we kept looking forward. It doesn't mean that we're going to be out of New York. It means like we're going to have something out of New York, but we are, fully in New York,
Yeah.
especially in Uptown and the Bronx. This is our home base, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys in a few months and reveal this incredible projects that we've been working on to kind of bring to the community year round.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that either. But every time I talk to you, Marco, I start salivating in the studio. I don't see any food around here, anything like this. Makes you just want to reach out and just,
I
you got to
get,
come into the studio, bring a couple of vendors. There you go. But we can't eat that. Let me see if I can grab one off of there. It doesn't move.
you know how much I have to go to the gym 7 days a week just to make sure that I burn enough calories so I can eat as many calories as I want.
Yeah.
Uh, I tell you this much. This year we got a strong trend. In the last couple of years, we had a trend from Jamaican food. This
Yeah.
year we have a big trend when going to Colombian, Venezuelan kind of style, like barbecues. Um, Unbelievable. I think we have about 4 or 5 different vendors that represents that region,
Yeah.
and doing meat and in the proper way. And I'm telling you, it's exciting. The Latin food and Caribbean Latin food, Hispanic food is making a huge step into the future. This is the future of what it is we see in New York City, and that's one of the reasons why we kind of took the Latin Food Fest with some great partners and took it nationally. But still, this is the testing ground. This is like the tasting ground, I would
Yeah.
say, and all of that. So we're excited, man. This is like, do you know what I mean? I get as excited as I was when I came to your show first time in 2018. I get as excited now because this is something we are facing something new, a new adventure that's going to be even for more New Yorkers, more Bronxites, more Harlemites.
Yeah.
So super cool.
Looks good. Looks good. Now, you have helped a whole lot of people. How has the New York City night market helped a lot of your vendors with their businesses?
I'm telling you, that's a great, great, great question. And one of the pillars of everything that we do that, and the reason we started that is to support those small businesses that needed that extra oomph. And we thought initially that some of the local businesses, brick and mortar, will use that as a marketing tool, like to come in and get themselves introduced, and they still do that. We have a lot of those businesses that come over there and do like a few events to kind of get more people familiar with the cuisine, the service, and all that stuff. But really, what we've seen that like has been most exciting is how this market they excited and up and coming entrepreneur. They really inspired people to say, hey, maybe we can do something. Maybe we create, oh, we have a recipe, or we have an idea for a product. Let's come over there and start doing that. And for me, that's the most exciting part, working with a business that doesn't exist before. We've had people come in with a George Foreman grill and a lot of hopes, and learn how to do that. We've
Yeah.
can create branding, work on the menu. We have to understand the food course. We have, just the processes of service, all to help them move to the next level. And we're seeing the fruits right now. A lot of those businesses have brick and mortars. A lot of them are in Whole Foods and
Yeah.
other chains. A lot of them are opening second and third store. And honestly, that's the reward. That's the big reward.
Yeah. There's an Ethiopian place over by I think it's 181st Street or something like that, by the George Washington Bridge, just before you get on the exit over there. And the food is excellent. I was talking to them about you, and they said, yeah, we want to get involved in that. So I was giving them some information. I told them to, call me later on. I don't know if they are or not or did, but the food over there is excellent. They have a brick and mortar, but, they lay the food out on like a bread, and they said, go in there, wash your hands. You got to go in there, wash your hands, and then come back out, and everything's with the bread. You have the lamb, the beef, everything, the fish.
It's so good. So good. You should introduce them to me. Give them my information. Like we'll give them the speech. The speed course
There
to
you
come
go.
out. Ethiopian food is also another one of those. Ethiopian and a lot of African food is also making a huge, showing into that. Jollof rice was like not everybody knew. Most foodies in New York City know and understand that right now. Ethiopian food is kind of gone up in level. So we understand that New York right now is experiencing a golden era when it comes to cuisine, whether it's Latin or African cuisine. We're getting the best of the best
Yeah.
due to our diversity, and it is exciting to be here as I can imagine. And I travel a lot, and I'm going to tell you, nowhere that I've been has had such a diverse culinary scene like New York City. And I'm excited to be right in the middle of it.
Me too. Maybe I'll be like you. I can go to the gym 7 times a week, and then come down and go to the night market.
Listen, I need somebody to spot me. So you use all the information and everything.
All right, we'll take turns, because you're going to have to spot me too if I'm going to break it down a little bit more. So
I
what's
got
going to take place at the Fordham Night Market, the Fordham Plaza?
The Fordham Night Market, we are coming back on June 28th at 12 p.m. We have a nice, robust programming when it comes to the entertainment. It's going to be some great vendors. We have lots of good sponsors, and an initiative, Healthy Bronx initiative, that is led by Montefiore Einstein. It's going to be a foodie Disneyland in the Bronx that day. This is we have 5 more events left for this season in Fordham Plaza.
Wow.
Before we move into like bigger and better, and we want each and every one of those events to be a festival like no other. Unmatched energy, celebrating greatest community, focusing on small businesses and local artists, and really just kind of showcasing the best of the best this borough has to offer.
Yeah, you go. And what time do the night markets open up again?
The Bronx one opens at 12 p.m., goes up till 7 p.m., and then the Uptown Night Market in Harlem starts at 4 p.m. till 10 p.m.
Cool. Give us all that information. I know you got a website and all that. Where can we go to get more information on everything that you're doing?
Best way to go is BronxNightMarket.com or UptownNightMarket.com. You'll get all the information that you need over there. Also, respectively, the Instagram account, Bronx Night Market and Uptown Night Market. Follow us, drop us a line, get on the newsletters, sign up to the newsletter. Newsletter gives you a bunch of cool deals. You can win free food. Come see us. Come say goodbye. Come say hi. Come say goodbye. Let's celebrate the last events for the year in the best way possible.
There you go. Food, drink, happy times, entertainment, the whole nine. And then we got that special announcement that you're going to make because we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to make the grade.
That's right. We're going to have to come back over here right in the fall and get the community all hyped up, because this plan that we've been working on for the past 2.5 years is going to change everything in New York City.
There you go. Marco, thank you so much. We appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate you.
Come up here with a couple of the vendors. We can highlight them and eat some of their food on TV.
I got a better idea for you. How about you come meet me at the night market on June 28th, and I'll walk you around and we eat everything before we go to the gym.
There you go. And bring the cameras.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll Anthony Bourdain this like little.
There you go. There you go. Marco, Shalma, thank you so much. CEO, MASC Hospitality Group, the Night Markets of New York City. Watch out. Here we come. Here we go. We'll take a break. Got some more coming up next on Open.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
And welcome back. Our last guest is an author, podcaster, and the founder of Policy Titans. It's an organization that is helping nonprofits and businesses secure grants. Money, 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 money. And he joins us to highlight those business empowering services and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Justin A. Williams. Hey, Justin.
Hey, how are you? Good
How
to
are
talk
you,
to
man?
you. Good, doing well.
You know, when you talk about money, everybody perks up. They go,
They do. That's very true.
what's he talking about? All right, so tell us about how we can help. First, tell us a little bit about yourself, your organization, and how you got it started, and we'll start talking about the money.
Sure, yeah. So it started as an idea in 2018 with my business partner, Prashant Thakor. We wanted to get into some kind of fundraising and sponsorship space, but we found that nonprofits had a high demand for help in terms of starting their nonprofit, applying for grants, and then winning grants. So we've been pretty successful in that area, and we've continued to be throughout this year. It's been a difficult climate with the federal grant situation with the new administration, but we're weathering the storm. There's still banks and private foundations that do give out money. So if you're out there and you want to start a nonprofit, we can help you do that at policytitans at gmail.com. But we can also help you in terms of just submitting or consulting on terms if you want to write it yourself, and we can teach you how to do that.
Yeah. So it was easier getting the federal grants a few months back, but now it's a little more difficult because things have slowed up a little bit on that end or dried
Yeah, they're
up.
recalibrating in a way where, I mean, obviously there's the whole DEI situation, but aside from that, they're recalibrating pretty much everything in terms of veteran grants. I know you had 2 veterans on, which was great. They were great. And in terms of educational grants, in terms of grants that run the gamut of science to technology.
Yeah. My producers should put you guys together with the veterans just to help them out. Because, you know, we really, really enjoy what they're doing. That's Kevin C. Meggett from the Veterans Advocate, Veterans Action Now, and Stephen. They need some help in what they're doing. And I know a lot of people watching us right now are going to say, hey, we're talking about grants right here. Maybe Justin can help us out a little bit. Justin, how can you help? Well, first of all, before you start that, how did you start Policy Titans?
Yeah, so the idea came to me because we were in policy school. I got my master's in political science, focusing on economics and sustainability from Rutgers University in 2018.
All right.
So I'm a proud Scarlet Knight.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Titans came because in Greek mythology, as you may know from the movie, King of the Titans, the Titans were a group of beings that lived in a golden age for humanity. And they brought a golden age to humanity before Zeus and all this stuff in the Greek mythology. So my godfather was very interested in that, my dad as well. So I thought that would be an empowering way to talk about what we want to do with nonprofits, which is bring you your own golden age. We want to make sure that you are set in every possible way, whether that's through managing the grant sometimes or writing the grant yourself, so that you can have sustainable economic success. I taught an economic empowerment class in high school, at a high school.
Yeah.
So economic empowerment is very important to me for all communities and all people that want the service.
Justin, sounds like a plan to me. How are you building that plan in our community? Building partnerships?
So yeah, we work on referrals. So we do business with a company. They will refer us to the next client. Someone will hear about us. We'll just go out in conversation. Sometimes I just go to festivals or I go to different organizations and I offer our services. But primarily what we've been doing is a boutique kind of concierge service where we are a small operation, but we like it that way. We have a good amount of clients, but we're not overwhelmed. And we'll maintain that business model until we get to the point where we are financially solvent enough so that we can expand to then obviously doing advertising and marketing once we get the staff and things of that nature.
I like it that way too because you can give that individualized attention. You know, sometimes when you get too big, too fast, you're like, oh, where do we go from here? And the people don't get the attention that they need. But when you have it just right, you're not overwhelmed, you can give them that solid information, and that's what people are looking for.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's what we offer.
Yeah. How did you break into the podcasting space?
So my mother, Dr. Teresa Taylor Williams, owns the New York Trend. It's been a successful newspaper out here in New York and the tri-state area for about 35 years. Started in our kitchen when I was about 4 years old. And I was inspired by her to kind of revolutionize the business. I love podcasting, so I thought podcasting would be a great way to do that. So the Trend with Justin A. Williams has been a successful 5 seasons so far.
Wow. All right.
We have interviewed people from all across the spectrum, in martial arts, to economics, to politics. Some of our guests have been Cindy Winters, who played Nyla on The Lion King.
Oh, yeah. I know her.
Yeah, we've had Nadia Vessel, who is a very famous model and a stylist now. So we've had a lot of different people on that we were very, very proud of. And we are a conversation-based podcast. If you want to come on and you want to talk about your conservative view or liberal view or this or that, we are free to talk to you and have a great conversation. We do not judge the person that's on. It's a great space for you to come and talk about any of your products, but also to just talk about your opinions.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about in the trend. We're trying to bring up trends that are happening in the country and talk.
Yeah, the trend with Justin A. Williams.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, that has a ring to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on there and find out how we can get some money too.
Yeah.
Justin, are you a captain?
A captain?
Yeah, I saw you on a boat.
Oh, yeah. So that is a business associate of mine's boat. I do know how to sail. I've been sailing. I've been sailing since I was a kid. That's actually my manager and publisher. Probably Grayson right there for my
How
book.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, Captain Justin.
Captain Justin, sure.
Yeah, you can make it happen. So talk about what stood out in your mind when you started interviewing people. Who stood out? Who, you know, over the, you said you've been, there's a number of series that took place so far?
Yeah, so.
What stands out?
I'd say what stands out is that people are very, very open to have conversations about any kind of topic if you make them comfortable enough.
Yeah.
And if you ask the right questions, then you'll always find a story with whatever guest you have.
There you go.
Whether it's someone who has been on NBC, MSNBC or CNN before, and they're a veteran in terms of the podcasting game, or someone like my friend Kyle Davis, who came on, who's really has some experience, but has never really been on a podcast before.
Yeah.
A lot of people do say, you know, they say, "Oh, will you send me 20 questions?" Or, you know, "I'm nervous. What should I do?" And I always say, "Hey, look, it's my job to make you comfortable. You will be comfortable.
Yeah.
And we will not struggle for 30 or 60
That did happen in the past, right? And it happens every now and then.
Every now and then you get someone who starts to hush up, but, you know, you find your way through.
Or they have the yes or no thing going on. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Right.
Now you're talking. Listen, you have a couple of books out, right? Talk about it.
Yeah. So this is my debut novel, Reborn: Virtue's Constellation. It is the story of a young kid diagnosed with bipolar because he's having visions of 72 people on his campus, one of them being his girlfriend, had actually conspired to murder him in a past life.
Oh, no.
He is reborn now in a new life, but they are aware of who he is, and he's becoming aware of who they are. And they are not just regular people. And they have control over the campus. They want to create a spell to return the world back to when they had power over everything. So it's a fantastic adventure book.
Yeah.
It's really about the internal hero journey and the ability to overcome by overcoming obstacles.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. You're doing a bunch, man. The Trend with Justin A. Williams. Of course, he's an author, podcaster, and founder of Policy Titans.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Thank you for all you do. And don't forget to come back and do it some more, okay? I've got you covered. Got you covered like a blanket.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Right here on Open. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Of course, anytime.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank our guests for joining us and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can keep following us on BronxNet TV for continued coverage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for letting us share in this space and time. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I love you all. Peace.